All right, yeah. Howdy from Kerala, India. So, I am in the southwestern part of India in a city called Kochi. It's one of the larger cities here. I don't think it's the biggest. I was just looking. Trivandrum, the capital's the largest. And then the city where I was a couple days ago, Calicut, now called Kochi, is the second largest. I think this is the third. Still a pretty good sized city though. Kochi is on an island primarily, and they've got another big part of the city where they've got the train station and all that is back on the mainland. But this place is probably, well, first it's a breath of fresh air compared to Bangalore and Hyderabad. Haven't made it up to Delhi this trip, not gonna go up there this trip. But I can just imagine that is just absolutely nuts. The cafe yesterday, doing some work here. Actual real cafe with pretty good internet. There was an Australian girl who I think had the shit scared out of her in Delhi. She was completely shocked and had no idea what was going on. I'd met a couple of other British tourists when I got here, and they were in Mumbai, and I think that was a huge shock for them as well. So India really is a very, very challenging place to travel, even if you have a lot of experience. But if you come here or you go to Goa, it's really not that bad if you traveled before. If you haven't, it's going to be challenging. I mean, you've got noise, you've got smells, but it's not nearly as bad as other parts of the country. And here there's tons of tourists too. There's a lot of backpackers and some hippies and older people as well, kind of hang out. And people here too generally are just much more friendly. And they're not like friendly like, oh, I'm gonna be your buddy and then I'm gonna take you to my shop or get you into my taxi and charge you an extra 25 to 30%. It's more, if you have questions or you need help with something, people generally will try to help you. And it's usually older people as well, which is cool. They speak English too, for the most part down here. The local language is called Malayalam or Malayalam. I don't know how you pronounce it, but it is something that's completely different from what they speak in Goa and what they speak in Hyderabad and what they speak in Bangalore and pretty much everywhere else. So it's going to be hard to communicate if you don't speak English or Hindi. Most people here do speak some English, and I think most people do speak some Hindi as well, just because of tourism. But walked over to near the beach. This is a big kind of park area right here. So Vasco da Gama, the famous Portuguese explorer, was one of the first Europeans to come to this part of India, and he basically set up most of the trade routes and took a monopoly over most of the trade going from Portugal. They use this as a base for refueling and getting supplies and slaves and all that stuff back in the day. It's all changed. There's still kind of a legacy here. You can see a lot of the architecture here is very Portuguese kind of inspired. Never been to Brazil, but I would imagine this kind of looks maybe a little bit similar to it. So it's very cool. It doesn't smell like a sewer. It smells like the ocean. A little bit of cartoons, but not that bad. But overall, the beach here is not that great here. I'll show you all up here. So the beach here is not very pretty, not nearly as nice as up in Goa. But still got a lot of industry and stuff like that. You got oil, you got big, huge cargo ships coming in, a few fishing boats, ferries and stuff like that. So it's a very, very interesting place. So far, this is my favorite place that I've been in India. Didn't really get to explore much yesterday. Went out, found a cafe, basically. Spent the day getting caught up and doing some work for my business and email and all that stuff. So today I'm going to go out and explore for the first time, and I want to take you guys along as I discover what's actually going on here in Kochi. So something about Kochi that I did not really know, I kind of heard from a buddy. When I was talking to my taxi driver going from the station to here, that the city is basically run, and the whole state of Kerala is run by the local communist party. And first thought of that was almost pissed myself laughing, but it really is true that this place is run by the Communist Party, and the Communist Party does have quite a few followers in Kerala. They've been in power, I think, for about 7 or 8 years, since like 2015, 2016. I don't know the exact date, but they've been in power for a while, and I think they're focused on primarily long-term development, where focusing on education and trying to use a lot of the remittances and foreign investment that comes in to the area to kind of build everything up. And I mean, so far you have to give these guys some credit. You really do, because this is not like Bongo or Hyderabad, where you've got tons of people running around, just absolute chaos. There is order here, some level of order. You've got a decent park where people are just hanging out, and it's not just full of filth. You have lots of small business too, which kind of goes against the ideology of communism. And I see this and I piss myself laughing, where basically these guys are out and they're selling stuff, but I don't know if there's like a mechanism of price controls, or there's some sort of tax that they have to pay, or you know, the government is providing the actual materials that are being sold, or the goods that are being sold, or they're getting some sort of aid from the government. I'm gonna talk to these guys and try to find out a little bit. I might know a little bit and see. But this is a local park here. Walked over here yesterday. Hello, sir. I'm all right, thank you. Hello, sir. Ooh, looks beautiful. Thank you, thank you. Nani. Thank you. Yeah. And you have a very, very large ethnic mix here too, where you've got Christians, you've got a lot of Hindus, and you also have a lot of Muslims as well. So this place does have a very, very eclectic and multicultural mix. I don't know if you guys can see the sign, but you guys will see that in a little bit. I'll show you something else that will probably surprise you a lot. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. This is the beach up here. These are I think the Chinese fishing nets is what they call these. So these guys are out catching fish traditional way. Never seen anything like it before. I mean, even in Indonesia, they'd go out and they'd have a boat and they'd hook them. I'm gonna get a photo with my phone. This is pretty cool. And there still is a lot of traditional stuff in India. There's not a lot of like the big Chinese infrastructure projects and stuff like that that you've seen in Southeast Asia and Indonesia or in Cambodia or in Thailand. There's not a lot of like made in China junk that's just kind of thrown out and dumped. It's primarily all locally made, I think, which is, you look at it in terms of economic development stuff, it's great because, hello sir. Oh, that sucks. It's hard to keep walking, it really is. It really is. But you just can't. All this stuff is primarily local, and like my belief about international development is it should start local. You need to start local, you need to empower the local people. Do as much as you can to get them to incentivize themselves. Hello, sir.
Hello, come on.
All looking a little bit, thank you. To start developing their and improving their local communities. And it looks like here they've done a pretty good job of it, where you've got, you know, people selling souvenirs, water, knickknacks, food, everything. People taking photos, people selling postcards. You've got this local entrepreneurship vibe that's just in the air here. And I mean, in other parts of India, it's just people sitting around, and the poor guy back there with no feet, they're just sitting around like, oh, give me money, give me money, give me money. And it's like, that's not the right thing to do, in my opinion. They're just literally sitting around. They should do something to earn their money. Just giving it to them for sitting here and breathing is not right, because it just reinforces laziness. You've got to get up, you've got to hustle every day. If you don't, you end up like Indian Railways. You're completely mediocre and you suck, and you're basically dependent on the government to take care of you. And you're never going to get better once you get past a certain point. It's almost like you become too big to fail, or basically are doomed to fail. And it looks like here they're trying to revert that, and they're trying to prevent that from happening, which I think is awesome. This country does have a lot of potential. I mean, I've been here for 10 days, and like, you've got huge, big, beautiful airports and huge, big, beautiful parts of cities that are being built outside of the main metropolitan areas now. But you've also got this right here, the organic development, which is very, very cool. And it's ultimately like, stuff like this is what's going to keep the country actually growing, keep the economy rolling. And yeah, it might take longer, but it's going to be more sustainable in the long run, because all the locals are involved. Everybody's got a place. Everybody's making a contribution. Everybody gets to actually kind of guide the country as it moves forward. So, kind of got to hand it to them. Like, this is actually pretty impressive. Another thing too that I read is Kerala has the highest literacy rate within the province. And the taxi driver was very, very proud of the fact that the education system in Kerala, according to him, is the best in India. So, Goa, met a Korean lady who owns a cafe, found a small Korean cafe up there. Crazy, middle of nowhere in a tiny, tiny, tiny city. Near the train station in Magadan, I still don't know what it is. But she was saying Goa has the best education system. People down here say it's Kerala. So there is a little bit of rivalry, I think. But you can't argue that the literacy rate in both is quite high, versus somewhere like Delhi, or Korean lady who lived before, she said it was just chaos. And I can imagine you've got so many people from other parts of the country that are flocking to Delhi. And they're going, okay, we want to come in and send our kids to school. We want to come get a piece of India that's growing, that's developing. And it's really, really hard for them to do that, because Delhi doesn't have the resources for the amount of people just coming in and swamping the place. Same with Mumbai, same with Bangalore, what it looks like, same with Hyderabad. But Bangalore has grown so much in the last 20 years, 25 years, that it's incredible, the amount of people walking around. And just imagine living there. It's going to be incredibly crowded. It's going to be incredibly hot. It's going to be very, very, very hard to actually get into a decent school. There's more competition, there's probably less seats, and there's less money. So, me being a former teacher, education really is super, super important, and really is the best way and really the only way to pull an entire community up. Education, critical thinking, and basically teaching people how to read and write and think for themselves. This is just really really spectacular. There's an old house, probably built close to 100 years ago, I guess. I don't know. Don't know if you guys can see it. And yeah, there's no sand here, but this is see a nice boardwalk. There's not a lot of trash. It doesn't smell like garbage. There's nobody dropping their pants, taking a dump on a pile of trash, and zipping their zipper and pissing on the street. And I've seen both of them, I don't know how many times here in India. And it's just, yeah, you got 1,400,000,000 people, 300 million people in this country. Some people are obviously not going to have the education. Some people are going to have mental problems. Some people are not going to be able to cope. They're not just going to give a shit. And it seems like there's a lot more people here caring about their community and caring about what's actually going on. And being involved. Other than back up in Bangalore and Hyderabad. It's just people are hustling every day just to survive. Living hand to mouth. And two, another thing compared to other cities, this place is probably an extra 40 to 50% more expensive for virtually everything. So hotels, my hotel was dirt cheap, but the average hotel here is probably 25 bucks, 30 bucks. You can get a really decent Holiday Inn for 25 bucks in Hyderabad. You can get a cheap, crappy hotel for probably 10 bucks up there. You get probably a really cheap hotel for probably 5 bucks. This is right. Like food costs and stuff like that. I mean, here you're paying over 150 rupee, which is like $2 for lunch at a minimum. And Goa, I paid about 120. In Hyderabad and Bangalore, it was maybe 100, roughly. And that was for a full meal. So 100 rupee for a full meal is like $1.20, and then 150 rupees about $2. So we look at it and go, okay, it's 80 cents, it's 90 cents. It's pretty much minimal to us. It's nothing. Okay, we can afford it, no problem. Local people, though, can't, because the rupee is pretty weak compared to the dollar. And then also, just the cost of everything here is more expensive. But despite that, they are going to have higher salaries. Where I'm guessing people here are making more money than they are up in Goa and probably up in Hyderabad and Bangalore, unless you're working in, high-tech city, or you're working in one of the main areas where you've got a lot of tourists, or you got a lot of foreign companies investing into the city. If you're just working in a regular restaurant up there, you're probably not making anything. Gas prices are still pretty expensive down here, though, and Uber prices are still pretty much the same. So I don't know how those guys are making it. There's probably some sort of government program, or probably some sort of service that the government provides. Hello. Namaste. To these tuk-tuk and taxi drivers. Hello, sir. They basically stay alive, or they're getting some sort of a subsidy, and it's almost treated like public transportation as Korea treats taxis. And for us, everything's private. In Korea, virtually everything is. That's Navy. All right, we'll turn around. For us, everything's private. It's all private companies. The Koreans have taxis that are owned by the cities that are designated as public transportation. You also have like app taxi and stuff like that. It's kind of like Korean Uber, where it's some of them are public taxis, but they'll kind of moonlight as TikTok taxis at night. I don't know if that's exactly legal or not, but I don't know. It's got me out of a jam trying to leave bars, and I don't care. Oh man. So this really is a pretty nice and peaceful place comparatively to major cities. And Kochi is a smaller city as well. I think it's less than 1 million. For India's, you know, tiny. You got 1.4 billion. A city of 1 million. It's like not even 1% of the population lives here. So it's very, very small. Way under 1% of the population. Oh. One thing though, it is hotter here. It's very, very hot. It's probably 30 Celsius, so I'd guess around 90-ish, maybe a little bit hotter. It's super humid, and it's January. Couldn't imagine being here in August or July when it's monsoon season. Literally, just gonna walk outside, you're gonna melt. There's literally sweat. Might as well go to a sauna and just turn this place into a sauna. And then one area too that I wanted to show you guys. So I'm gonna cut the camera off. We're a few minutes away. I don't want to waste the battery. And we will head up there. And I will show you guys a very, very, very cool part of Kochi. Alright, so I think it's up here actually. So this area has a very, very cool old town. And it's very bohemian. It's how I would describe it, kind of hippie-ish. And they have a lot of very, very interesting and cool shops. This is kind of the start of it, I think. So the beach is back that way. You've got all your typical shops selling knickknacks and souvenirs and hippie pants, t-shirts, all of that. We actually have some really cool looking like bookshops, craft shops, cafes, restaurants, lots of stuff up here. And that was kind of the India that I was expecting, that I kind of had in my mind. It's like, okay, you're gonna have a country that's developing. It's not completely developed. There's obviously gonna be really rich parts. There's gonna be parts that are like really, really poor. But in Hyderabad and Bangalore, the economies are growing so fast. There's probably gonna be none of that. All the poor stuff's gonna be gone for the most part. And it's gonna be all pretty much low middle income on up. And basically, like, that's not the case. Some of the roughest places that I've seen in the world were in Hyderabad and Bangalore. Some of the worst smelling places that I saw. I guess worst smelling places that I've smelled and seen, walked through in those two places as well. It was terrible. But coming down here, the whole entire trip and the whole entire atmosphere just kind of changed. Where it's like much more relaxed, it's much more chill. I think if you do want to come to India, this is probably the place to come. I mean, it's still going to be a big challenge. It's a very, very different country. Virtually every state in India is almost like a different country. You've got a different language, you've got a different culture, you've got people that act differently, they have different religions, they have different ways of life. And that's India in a nutshell. 1.4 billion people, including virtually everything. And those rules of engagement, those rules of competition change state to state, within the state, and then from one state to another state. and then from the national level. A lot of people here have very nice bikes. Never heard of Royal Enfield. I guess it's an Indian market. All right, so this is one of the major churches here in Kochi. Hey. Sign up for the G20. Got a few more souvenir shops and stuff like that up here to the left. And this up here to the left kind of reminds me a little bit of Bali, or where I lived in Indonesia. The village where I did Peace Corps is called Pangandaran. More of a city, I guess. A collection of villages. They had a bunch of shops like this pretty much all along the beach and in town. Virtually everywhere you go, you would see all the same stuff. Have guys selling virtually the same shirt, same hats, same knickknacks, same magnets, same everything. And they'd get them all from one or two main distributors up in Tasikmalaya or in Ciamis, two of the larger cities in the area, south of Bandung. And fortunately, a lot of them would buy it on credit. So buy a bunch of stuff, they wouldn't be able to pay for it, and then they'd pretty much be SOL. And look at that and go, it's really sad that these guys are doing this, but they probably don't know any other way, and they're not thinking, okay, how can I diversify or differentiate myself from these other people that are selling stuff? Maybe I can sell for a little bit less, but advertise for tourists, and most people that are just coming to your shop are going to be walking by, and you're not going to obviously pay to ship something from there. It's not worth it. You're just dependent on people walking by being interested and taking off with whatever you sell them, trying to make a decent profit on it. For tourists, you can make a lot more. We don't know the price, and we're going to get screwed because that's just how it goes. A lot of the places up here, they'll have signs that say a fixed price. There's an interesting sign too. CCTV, don't dump garbage. I've not seen that. And then right here, got your hammer and sickle. They had elections, they have elections at some point. Most, I shouldn't say most, a lot of countries do this year. And we've got ours coming up in November. Indonesia's got one in a couple weeks. Taiwan had theirs. So, stuff could be changing very quickly. Alright, let's stop for a sec. Keep going, one more block. Marathoner. Interesting. And two, generally people here are pretty chill. You got the occasional guy wanting you to get on this tuk-tuk or buy something from his shop, but much fewer and far between. Than in Hyderabad or Bangalore or Indonesia, where you're just getting bombarded constantly by every single person. They're just, where are you down? Where are you down? Where are you down? Where are you down? So you say, okay, I give up. Here we go. We're at Princess Street. And this is the cool street up here. So they've got rental bikes. If you want to get a bike, probably can't get one because I don't have an Indian phone. Cry. Burger Street and Princess Street are the two. Very cool streets. The architecture, the vibe, and the stuff for sale. So if you do come to Kochi, make sure you check out these two places if you're trying to get souvenirs. It is touristy, but everything here does seem to have good quality. It has a very nice, artful vibe. It's perfect for getting your Instagram shots. You can get them without. What's up? I got my stomach. Yeah, so I was second place in a stomach drumming competition back in the day. I won a whole freaking dollar for being second best in DJ Drum Masters stomach drumming competition. Got the video somewhere. It's absolutely classic. Classic day. Just like me locking myself out of my hotel room on the balcony a couple days ago. Alright. So there are lots of tours and stuff like that. Kind of regret not doing a tour. I actually should. I might do one later. This place right here, thru, has really good pasta. It's homemade, delicious, huge portion. It's about 350 rupees, so less than $5 if you're looking for some Western food. It's not a bad place to go. Not a bad place to go at all. Coffee was expensive. There's the Brisbane Lodge. I reckon they don't have Forex up there, but probably go have a chanda. It's like you would in the valley. It's probably not as nice as Sunnybank there. All right. So yeah, this is much more touristy up here. And two, you probably have noticed, there's not a big Holiday Inn, there's not a big Hyatt, there's not a big Marriott. It's mostly mom and pop and small guest houses where people are staying. So all the locals are being able to get money, and their money's primarily staying within the economy, which is really good for development. So I think it's cool. Probably don't agree with government on a lot of stuff in terms of ideology, but it looks like it's working. And if it's working, that's kind of how the locals look at it too. If it's working, I'm just not going to mess with it. Let them continue to take it and run. And as long as my life is getting better, if I'm able to have more money this year than I did last year, then okay, I'm happy. And as long as I'm not going to be persecuted for being of a particular religion, then all right, I'll roll with it. Maybe I don't agree with everything, but at the same time, okay, my life is better. I don't have to worry about some of these basic needs that a lot of people in other parts of India have to deal with. Oh man, it's getting really freaking hot. I am gonna go find an ice cream. What's up? I'm good, thank you. Nani. Thank you, sir. Take care. Drive safe. This place is good too, the Tibetan Kitchen. Went there for dinner. It's awesome. Go here for dinner tonight. Show you all that. All right, well, done for now. I'm gonna grab a drink and an ice cream. We'll call it. Catch you later. All right, so we're Now walking through the main part of Kochi. So it's right here. Got a lot of people on the beach selling stuff. Some of the businesses here are open, some are closed. Wonder, okay, so just been displacement, or those guys on the beach, they're not from here. People take a day off. Who knows? Who knows? Ooh. I think this is about where I was yesterday. I was walking around. I can't remember exactly. Man, it is stinking hot though. I believe I'm getting closer to where I want to go, where I want to show you guys. It says it's about 3K from where I was, and I'm just gonna hoof it. Yep, this is right. Keep on going. Lots of gold, diamonds, silver. Tons of jewelry, right? Jewelry is everywhere in this country. Everywhere, everywhere. I was watching, I was on YouTube a couple days ago. Found a video. One of the Singaporean news agencies, CNA, Channel News Asia. Could have been straight times, I can't remember. But they're basically saying that the Singaporean customs agents are catching a lot of people smuggling gold and other jewelry into India. Where you can bring, I think it's not very much. It's a few grams for men and a little bit more for women. But it's a very minimal amount. Otherwise, the tax is quite high. Now I can understand, okay, yeah, there is a huge market for it. You've got to look at it too, or you've got money laundering and you've got all these other ways that gold can be used to get currency and get value taken or moved from one area to another. Can be for good purposes or bad purposes. All right. Still walking. I don't know, after, what is it, 10 days of being here, 11 days, probably more like 2 weeks now. Yeah, 2 weeks I've been here. I'm not really fazed by the horns. Some of the water, nice and clean. But the smell still kill me. Goat. Couple cows right there. Cow bar. Hello. SDPI. I believe that is the left-wing coalition here. I think it's headed by the communists in Kochi. Keep on on, trudging through. This is town. Got beef that I've not seen. I saw get a steak on a menu in Goa, but Hyderabad and in Bangalore. Didn't see beef anywhere. Didn't see a butcher really anywhere. Cheap meals. Locals. Still overall, I mean, this is obviously the locals' neighborhood. Not tourist at all. Not touristy. There's so much more. Just not comfortable, but it's just easier to get around than Hyderabad or Bangalore. Couldn't imagine Delhi. I really couldn't. Another flag. So that's another political group. I'm not sure which group it is. Man, I forgot. Politics is a big deal here too, like everywhere. I just think it's not the topic of conversation that everybody has all day, every day. Probably one month. Oh man, I'm sweating. Should have put on sunscreen. There's a woman up there. Maya driving. Haircut for a buck. Shaving a haircut, 2 bits, baby. Too bad I still can't grow a mustache. Cry. I actually tried to get a fake mustache, so I went to the dollar store a couple times before I came to India. I asked, nobody had a fake mustache. If I did, I'd be rocking that thing right now, trying to fit in. Wonder if they'd tell. You'd be able to tell I'm a faker. Can't grow a mustache. I'm in my 30s, man. This is sad. Probably never gonna happen at this point. I can grow my nice turkey waddle. Hey, I did it to myself when I was like 17, 18. I literally said to my brother and said to people, oh, it'd be cool to have a long turkey waddle from my chin all the way down to my neck. And it's like, okay, Kazam listened and was like, boom, here you go. There's one of your wishes. You got 2 left. And I could wish for Happy Meals from here to the sky. Whether that would come true or not, another story, but the first one did. We're not going to attempt it. Alright. I think this is right. Perfect. Hello, hello. Let's stop for a sec, reorient. Let's keep going. So, we'll keep going. There's a little Benkel. Hello. Business, don't know if it's open or closed, probably shut down and gutted. pilgrimage center. Pilgrimage to Mecca. Yes. Can't read it. It's about time for Shola Zuhur. Sun's out. Looks like it's about as high as it's gonna get, so it would make sense. A couple of tourists. Garbage. I mean, it's obviously not going to be perfect. This has been the most pleasant long walk that I've had in India, in a city. The beach and go was spectacular. Awesome, awesome, awesome day. Walking that. Compared to like any other city, this is easy. And that is something too, if you ever do come to India. If you go to Bangalore or Hyderabad or Mumbai or Delhi first, you spend a couple days there, you swim in the deep end, then you will learn how to swim. And then when you go into the shallow end, you're not going to drown at all. If you go here, and then you go to another city, it's going to be much harder. You'll have some sort of expectation, I guess. Mama goat. This is just night and day compared to everywhere else that I was before I came this way. Hello, sir. Goats. Kind of clouding up too, and this is the first time that I've seen clouds virtually everywhere else here. It's been blue sky or just pollution. Both. These actually look like natural clouds, which is kind of nice. And there's a little breeze coming through too, cooling it down. Feels really good. Still stinking hot, but it's not nearly as bad as it was half an hour, 45 minutes ago. All right. So we still have some battery. Awesome. Head up here into this part of the city. Hello. Ah, that smells good. Miss the smell of pine. Reminds me of home. Cut timber. All right, there's a dirt path. There's a perfume museum. Street art. Those are wasn't it me? Shocked. Wasn't it me? Wasn't it me? There's the spice market. Very cool. Check that out. Those are I think I'm about there. Art Center. It's pretty. Church. It's a huge church. Incredible India. I wouldn't go that far. If I were them, I would change it and go like, you've got wild, and then you've got India. It's a whole nother level. It really is. And this is so nice. Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
How's down?
Ooh, perfume. Welcome to Jewtown. So, here in Kerala, they have a part of Kochi that is called Jewtown. There's a synagogue and there's maybe a small Jewish population still here. So, remember, back across town, got a big, huge free Palestine from the river to the sea. And right across the island, you've got Jewtown. And there's like nobody burning the synagogue. I'm sure there are people that want to do it. There's nobody over there painting over the sign. I'm sure there's people that want to do it. We've got a little bit of self-control to kind of hold everything together. Something maybe we could learn from them. My guess is relations are probably not good, but they're not out killing each other right now. And it's like you look at it from our perspective in the States, left and right, yeah, nobody likes each other, really. And that's one of the main issues people talk about when they meet somebody now. Politics. Let's put you into a camp, let's put you on a side. Like a million other things to talk about besides politics. You're gonna size somebody up and you're gonna make the whole rest of your decisions in building this relationship with a person based around their political ideology. You need to get your head out of your ass. You need to go and meet people from different backgrounds. You need to go travel. You need to go and see what life is like for other people. So I guarantee you that people that live in a very different way from you probably agree with you on a lot of the same things. You need to go and sit down and just listen to them for a little bit. Listen to them talk about their lives. Talk about the issues that they have. Versus just thinking about your own. This is on both sides of the political aisle. But this is another touristy area. This is probably one of the wealthier areas. Still maybe is, I don't know. Yet to explore. There's a boat jetty up here. Let's go have a look. Comfort station. Oh, you got a pisser. Oh boy. It's gonna be fun. I don't want to go to the bathroom. I don't want to go to the boat jetty. That's not right. Maybe it's around the corner. Got a little bit of traffic up here, not that bad. Oh man. Good old Bitugi 있다. Oh, sir. I don't have any cigarettes. Alright, so there's a temple up here. It's pretty. No sewing. These people having respect to not sell shit on the temple grounds. Way to the museum. Alright. Havani Temple.
No, we're not going to go there. No. It's too hot. You have to go up to that place. You can't go out this time.
Then okay.
No, we won't go. No, you can't say.
Go ahead.
No.
Oh, you sure? Alright, thank you. Hello, sir. Alright. Alright, we are back. So we're leaving right now from the History Museum with 5 rupee. Pretty cool. It's nice to get out of the sun for 40 minutes or so. For now, walk up here and see this part of Kochi. We've got all the markets, you got spices, souvenirs, all that good stuff. This looks like backpacker haven. Kind of shocked that this is small. Yeah. I do think they're pretty strict. Maybe at least in terms of looking strict. In reality, they probably don't look like shit. Ooh, this is cool. It's nice. I reckon it's a pretty penny. Keep going up here. This is the old Jewtown, I believe. This is cool. Just the architecture. Going back in time 100 years or more. Probably close to 150. Trying to imagine what this place was like. And it was ruled by the British at that time. The museum said Portuguese first came in, the Dutch took it from them, British got it from the Dutch, and then the Indians got it after independence. So you had three major European colonial powers running the show here for quite some time for each of them. British being the longest by far, putting the most investment into it. This is really pretty though. It smells good, it really does. Some of these shops smell incredible. Tree incense and spices, it just smells fresh. Alright. Tuk-tuk car. There's my route out of it. Wait. Smash. This is the main, I think, Jew Street right here in Kochi. So unfortunately I don't have any room in my bag and I can't get anything. But get this cool video. There's some Hebrew. Damn. That's beautiful, man. That is gorgeous. Why isn't there a yarmulke and a menorah? There must be a small Jewish community still here. I wonder if you could go into one of these restaurants and be like, hey, can I get a BLT? Can I get some ribs? Probably not. Little bookshop. And here's the synagogue.
Bah, ça serait mon idée. Hein. Si je voyais des choses pas chères.
I gotta cut this off.
Yeah, go straight.
See behind me? Yes, that is the Star of David. In this city, there is a very large Jewish quarter. I think it's the first Jewish quarter in India and in this part of Asia. It was built and started back in the 1500s, primarily by Spanish, Dutch, and I think there might have been some French or other Jewish people, British Jewish people that came over here. So it was very interesting to learn that. And then behind me as well, the cliffhanger from yesterday. This guy right here is part of the local Communist Party. I said the word, the C word. Yes, Kerala is officially communist. The people here have elected communists to lead the state for the last 8 years. The guy who's currently in office right now, I think it's Mr. Vijayan or Vijayan, how you say his name. He's basically been running the show since 2015 or 2016. And overall, you got to give these guys a little bit of credit. They've done a pretty good job. There are a lot of people out selling stuff. There are a lot of small businesses here. And generally, they're trying to get as many tourist dollars as they can. They're trying to develop the economy, and it looks like they're putting that money into education and into local development programs. The education system here supposedly is very good. My taxi driver 2 days ago was bragging about how good it was. It was the best in India. I think they do have the highest literacy rate here in Kerala out of all the other states. And then also on top of that, they have a very, very high human development index where it's quite developed. I think it's like 0.77 or something like that, or 0.78. So there is basic infrastructure here that's pretty much accessible to virtually everybody. So very interesting being in a communist place. Would I ever want to live here? No, but looks like they are doing something crazy. And it is working. So that's it for now. Have fun, enjoy your day, get out there and do something incredible. All right, this thing's on. I got low battery. It's like 18% or something like that. So it probably isn't gonna be very long. Went to a cafe back there. It was really, really good. It was called East India Cafe or something like that. It's just crazy. You have at cafe, one of the nicest hotels I've seen in India, right next to the company right here, to the village. I don't know what the local word here is for village. I'm just throwing out the Indonesian one. It does really remind me of it. This reminds me of the desa, the village. Like kind of the PST for training. Dirt roads. We didn't have a lot of tuk-tuks and stuff like that. It's a nice funky cafe. It's nice. Hello, sir. That was a crazy 2.5 months of my life. So, back when I did Peace Corps in 2015, ooh, I got some souvenirs and stuff. I'll probably get something later. I'm good, thank you, sir. Okay. Appreciate it. Nani. Not saying that right. So back when I did Peace Corps in 2015, I don't know if they changed it, they've extended it or shortened it, but we had about 2 months or so, 2.5 months of training before we actually started. Peace Corps. During that time, we all lived in one city outside of Malang, and we basically lived with host families. Each volunteer lived with a different host family, and then we had little clusters of volunteers where we would have like maybe 4 or 5, some 6. You'd have the same language group, and then you would go within that language group and kind of hang out with those PCVs, those Peace Corps volunteers, learn the local language, and then attend like weddings and go to circumcision parties. Sunatan is a huge deal in Indonesia. Basically any kind of event that the village had going on, we would just all go together and you'd see each other there. And it was nice because you had an immediate group of friends and people that you could hang out with, and you could relate to them because they're going through exactly the same thing that you are. And you're in the same boat. You speak very little of the local language. You're having trouble adjusting with food. The heat wasn't that bad where we did training though. It was kind of up in the hills. Otherwise that would have been really tough. Dealing with your host family, dealing with the local customs and culture. Because you really do, you're kind of thrown into it. When we got off the plane, we went to a dormitory for a day, maybe 2 days, not very long. You guys have a patch hat, or a patch shirt. Interesting. But we were dormed for 2 or 3 days, and after we went to our host families. And we were basically with our host families, literally everywhere we went, they pretty much accompanied us. You know, if we'd go to a cafe or something like that, at least initially in the first month or so, host brother always came with to make sure I was okay. And I think it was more of just they're worried and they want to kind of take care of you and show you the foreigner kind of around the area and show you the ropes, which is really nice. But it's hard because you can't really communicate with them. So you kind of go and you do hand gestures the first couple of days, and then in our language classes, you know, slowly pick up the language, and then after about 3 weeks or so, you can have a basic conversation. It really was not that hard. And we had classes for close to 4 or 5 hours a day, so it was pretty intensive. But we basically had all this time to practice outside of class. And then at night I would just hang out with my host brothers, host grandma, host mom, and usually just sit down and chat. And we'd try to talk about whatever we could, and initially it was just, oh yeah, the food is good. You know, you're saying 1 sentence or 2 sentences. And then after that you're able to say, oh, the food is delicious, and you know, the fish is my favorite. And then after a while you can say, oh, I like the fish, but I liked yesterday's dinner more than today's. And then you can ask them, oh, so, you know, what's your favorite food? And you just start to build that relationship and start to have the conversation. And once you start to do that, everything just starts working like clockwork, and it's crazy. And it was very, very hard the first probably 3 weeks. Very, very hard. And my stomach was not used to food. Pretty much in the bathroom every day, several times, kicking everything out, one end to the other. But for a while I got used to it. And then a lot of walking. We'd walk probably 20, 25 minutes, maybe more, to classes and to trainings and stuff like that. And go and, you know, do medical training and stuff like that to make sure that we're aware of what's going on, and kind of do culture training stuff to better understand our environment. And it really was pretty cool. It was really hard. It was very, very challenging. Just walking through that village back there just kind of snapped my brain back to 2015. And the training was probably, say, one of my favorite times in Peace Corps. It was very fun. was very hard, but it's really where you got to meet people. And you kind of got to see, okay, everybody's in the honeymoon stage the first week, and then it just gets to total despair. And then see everybody pull themselves out of it. We had one guy that didn't make it through. But everybody else was able to pull themselves out and muddle through the Bahasa Indonesia language test, and then the swearing in. And it really was a cool experience. I mean, the whole entire swearing in language test was kind of nerve-wracking. I don't know why I was scared. I picked up the language pretty quick. And it really is not that hard. You need just a handful of words to be able to speak Bahasa Indonesia. Hello. Might be similar here with Malayalam or Hindi. Never studied them before, but I don't know. If I had more time, I'd probably try to pick up at least one of the local languages here in India. If they had just one language that you could use everywhere, it's English, I guess. Probably do Hindi. I was gonna pick one up, but down here a lot of people don't speak it. And they don't use it very often. So it's like, okay, if I learn Hindi, I come to southern India. Probably never gonna actually, maybe rarely use the language. And it's not really worth it to do that. I'd much rather learn another language or practice one of my other languages while I'm here. And I am learning another language that you guys will get to see later on. You might be surprised at what it is, but it's a language I've never ever studied before, and it's a language I really suck at. But hopefully in a couple of weeks when I actually need it, be able to string a couple of words together, at least make people smile. There's your tip. Your hint. Smile. So, we shall see. Like anything. I think my battery is pretty much toast, and I'm gonna keep walking. So thanks for checking this out. Looking forward to seeing you later. Catch you on the next video. That's all for now. Alright. Welcome to Varkala, India. So kind of jumped in. There's a queue here, kind of sort of. A lot of people are going down to see the sunset. Going with. This is the last time I'm gonna see the sunset here in the Indian Ocean. From India. What's up? Not much, man. How you doing?
Where are you from?
I'm from Texas. USA. United States. What's up? Oh, you're good, you're good.
Come on.
Go for it, man. Go ahead. I think you're probably on there. Alright, so to get down to the beach here in Varkala, it's quite steep. There's a big cliff that's probably about 100 to 200 meters high. And you got to go down. Whoa, careful, buddy. Go down some stairs. What's up? Malayam? I don't know Malayam, sorry. Oh, yeah, I know Malayam. Bahasa Melayu, yeah. I speak Malay. Oh. Anda bisa ke bahasa Melayu? Tidak?
Please.
I guess Malay and Malayam are totally different. Apa kabar? Apa kabar?
Bar.
Baik? Baik, baik.
Ini baik yang mendorong.
Baik. Baik. Apa kabar? Baik. Yeah, I guess there's almost no connection with
No kira.
Bahasa Melayu and or Bahasa Indonesia and Malayalam.
Malayalam.
Malayalam, yeah? Nani, Nani. Only way I can remember Nani.
Your name.
I'm Dave.
Jaya.
Yeah. What about you? What's Alamin? Nice to meet you. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Yeah. Nice to meet you guys. Shukran. I actually speak some Arabic. I don't know. So we're here on the beach. I didn't know the devil wears, I don't know, bohemian-ish hippie clothes. Interesting. So, beach here is quite nice. Not a lot of trash. This is in the state of Kerala, and you can see it's quite crowded. There's a kid peeing. I don't want to get in trouble. I'll block that off. I'm gonna set up shop and watch the sun go down. So this is day 16, something like that, 17 in India. It's been a fucking wild ride, let me tell you that. So, traveled a lot, been to many countries. There's no country that I've been to like India. Biggest shock, and you can see this right here. I'm at a beach in rural India, and it's full of people. Virtually anywhere you go in this country is going to be full of people. There's 1.4 billion of them, approximately. The most populous country in the world. And you're going to be surrounded by folks whether you want to be or not, pretty much. Sometimes get away, find a quiet place, your hotel room. Chances are the room next to you is going to be occupied by a person in there. If you're staying in a cheap room, it's going to be pretty loud. You're going to hear a lot of stuff going on next door. It's been very eye-opening being in this country. I've been to some poor countries before. I've seen some very rich areas, rich countries, but the gap here in rich and poor is something else. About 2 weeks ago now, I was walking around in Bangalore, and a little kid who was naked tried to rob me and steal my stuff out of my pockets. His mom was kind of looking at me like, you need to give my kid some food. He's hungry, you need to give me some food, so I'm hungry. And didn't give him anything. Covered up my pockets and walked off. It hurt to do that, but it was the right thing to do. And if you walk around virtually any city here, you're going to see people that have lost limbs, that can barely move, that basically look emaciated, they're very skinny, probably don't have a lot of family, they don't have a lot of financial support, obviously. Some of them maybe been in accidents, probably most of them have been accidents. But unfortunately, me being a tourist, and you come here, you being a tourist, can't do much to help these people long term. You're in the country for a couple of weeks. Best thing that you can do if you want to help people here. Stay in local businesses, support local businesses, and basically keep money flowing within the economy. Right now the economy here looks like it's pretty strong. I think it grew about 7 to 8% last year, last quarter as well. had very high GDP growth. It was 3 to 4%. Very, very high. Could be wrong if I remember correctly. But basically, this country's growing. It's developing. And with that development, there's going to be a lot of lopsided growth. Most of the growth is coming from areas like Cyberabad and Hyderabad, or brand new cities that the Indian government is building outside of Bangalore and Hyderabad, Mumbai, where they're attracting a lot of foreign investment. They're basically taking land that's barren and they're building huge skyscrapers and shopping malls and offices. And they're probably going to be building factories soon. I haven't seen any major factories like I have before in China and Thailand and some other countries. But that's probably going to be happening in the next couple of years. At least for tech stuff, is my guess. For the people here that don't have a lot, they're basically screwed. People that are stuck in Bangalore right now, that are hustling at the market, that are making 4 to 5 rupee on a transaction, or even if they're making 50 rupee on a transaction, they're still making literally pennies. Those pennies are not going to be able enough to support them in a move to the new part of the country where they can get a good education, where they can actually invest their time in something that's going to be meaningful, where they can make a better life for themselves, significantly make a better life. They may be able to stay where they are in the market, getting by, but eventually they too are going to get left behind. And this country is going to change a lot, I think, in the next 15 to 20 years. Take a look at that sunset. It's coming down. And I feel bad for a lot of these people. So a lot of them are going to be. What's up? Yeah, just walking around. See you guys. And a lot of these people are going to be left behind. And you're going to have to do something if you're the Indian government or Western government to try to empower them in some way. How they decide to do that, I have no idea. We still have a very, very high birth rate here. I don't think it's as high as like Nigeria or Indonesia. So it's very, very high. And it's going to be a big challenge for the Indian government going forward. And for other country governments as well. If you really want to engage with this country and with these people, you've got to do something meaningful for them. Because ultimately the people at the top, you're already engaging with them. But all these people, virtually none. They're already, for the most part, probably pretty left behind. Maybe a few that work in tourism, yeah, they have some. Most everybody else, right now they're getting by and they're happy. You wonder, in the next 5 to 10 years, how much is life going to change here? Hopefully it'll continue to get better. Hopefully. At the same time, you have no idea. I have no idea. This place does have a lot of potential, though. It really does. There's so much potential in it. Whether the Indian people, whether the government, whether other countries can invest and actually take advantage of it, is a question that remains to be answered. And I would say right now, probably long-term, yes. Short-term, everything is so disconnected and everything is so disjointed. There's so many rivalries here within the States. You have so many languages and so many cultures. You need to get everybody on Team India first. Or get everybody on the same page of you want to make money. I think if they can do that, and they can show that, yes, you can make money and you can hustle, then I think it will happen. There's still going to be people that are left out. There's always going to be people that are left out. And as long as you can keep that to a minimum, then I think you'll make it. You'll make it much faster than you would if you weren't able to do that. I mean, I can just imagine 20 years ago, this was probably nothing. There might have been a couple of places up in town. You can see up on the cliff a couple of restaurants or hotels. But other than that, I doubt any of this is here. Maybe some local Indian tourists. Not many foreigners. And if things could be more organized, if things could be more straightforward here, and they could just get rid of some of the fraud, get rid of some of the scams. And that's really the biggest thing. I think that's holding the country back, is the scams and the fraud. You have so many people, you basically can't put any sort of control on everything. They're trying to put controls on everything. But the controls that they're putting into place are basically gumming up the whole entire system. They're needless. For example, you come to India, you get your visa stamped, immigration, and then you go through the airport, you get to your hotel. As soon as you get to your hotel, the person working at the desk wants to see your visa, wants to see the actual paper. Why this guy at the hotel wants to see your visa, I have no idea. I can see him wanting to check your passport. Yes, you need to register, obviously. Take your information. But why does this guy need to have your visa? Why do you need to give him a copy of your visa? In all the other countries that I visited, I've never had to do this. Not in Russia, not in China, not in Kazakhstan, not in Indonesia. As a tourist, you show up, you have your passport, and you register it. That's it, you're good to go. Here, all these extra steps make it harder for you, and they make it harder for local people, because now they have to focus on something else. Instead of spending time trying to serve you and get you a drink or make you comfortable, they're now focusing on, you have to check these boxes for somebody. It could be the government, it could be the boss, I have no idea. But they're not able to actually provide the best service that they can to their guests. And I get it. It's a big country. India's trying to protect its national security, as they should. But I just see it as being very unnecessary. You have people trying to do the jobs of other people, and that gums up the whole entire system. And there's, I guess, too many people taking accountability, or more likely, nobody taking accountability. And if you don't have people taking accountability, then there's a problem or a failure. You don't know where that actually lies. You can't pinpoint it, you can't fix it. The system's always going to be slow, it's going to be redundant, and it's going to suck. And until they can actually maximize the efficiency of it, you get rid of some of the bureaucracy, which I think is a good luck. It's probably not going to happen. Water's really warm. Indian is the world's warmest ocean. The beaches are really nice too. So, it makes me sit back and think, these guys are sitting on a huge gold mine for tourism. And it's very reasonably priced, but it's very, very challenging and very hard to get around because everything is so disorganized. If they could organize it, or if they could allow the states to take more autonomy in organizing it, I think it really could catch on and you could have a huge wave of tourism coming in here. More foreign dollars, foreign euro, yen, won, ruble, all of that coming in and helping prop up the economy. This is the most that I've seen in terms of tourists. I mean, I've seen a few in Goa, but I haven't seen this many. And by far the most I've seen. I think this is off season too. So, they really could be sitting on something here. They could change the experience that you have as a tourist. Making it easier for you to come in, making it easier for you to explore, making it easier for you to get around, and just making it more comfortable. Where you're not having to walk 5K to an ATM. And yeah, you can take a tuk-tuk, but you don't have any money. So how are you going to pay for the tuk-tuk? And the tuk-tuk driver is going to charge you a bunch of money because you can. There's no fixed pricing in anything. It's pretty much up to the guy who's driving it. And if you could just make a couple of checks and controls, I think it would make it a lot better. But my 2 cents, my opinion, as one person. Maybe somebody will take it to heart. Maybe not. Anyway, I'm gonna sit down and watch the sunset. It's looking glorious. And I will catch up with you guys later. Signing off from Varkala. Have a good one, y'all.
Alright, so it's not a random thought. Got food poisoning, feel like shit. Uh-oh, might throw up again. But there is a Heart of India, somewhere like Conrad's book, like the Heart of Africa, when basically it's like Heart of Darkness. And I think in India, the longer that you stay in a particular area, your heart is going to start to darken at some point. At some point, you're going to get overwhelmed with what you see. You're going to start to hate it. You're going to hate the world. You're going to hate that there is inequality. But unfortunately, that's the truth. It is something that starts to eat at you. And once you start to recognize that you're hating it, you got two choices. Either way, you need to take a step back and reassess what's going on. You either say, fuck it, I'm not basically spending any more time in this area. I'm done. I can't deal with it anymore. I can't deal with the people. And they're fucked. And there's no point in doing anything. Or you look at it from the other perspective and you go, if not me, but who? If I don't step up and do something, nobody gives a shit about these people. Nobody cares. And you get this savior mentality where you go, okay, I'm going to step up and I'm going to try and do something. But I think that belief is so naive. It's you look at it and you go, this is beautiful that you're willing to go out and sacrifice yourself. But what are you actually sacrificing yourself for? Virtually nothing. Anything that you do is not going to be sustainable. It's not going to be helpful. Or you show up, you try to do something to help these people. You're working by yourself. You have no team. You have nothing that's actually going to last and outlive you. Once you quit working, the whole entire thing falls apart. You're holding everything. You can't do that. You have to build a system. You have to build something that is going to outlast and outlive you. And if you want to go into that deepest, darkest part of India, nobody else wants to go there. And you're eventually going to get angry and frustrated about that fact. Just another thought. Something that I was thinking about right now. It's kind of crazy. And on top of that too, you're going to start to hate those people. Because all of them come up to you and they want a handout. They want something. Give me food. Give me money. They're going to look at you with crazy, evil eyes. That, like, you have and I don't. This world is unfair. And since it's unfair, you have to give me something. And unfortunately, if they have those eyes, there's nothing you can do. It's like being in a zombie apocalypse, where these people are walking around, they're almost like zombies. You can't do anything to help them. It fucking breaks your heart. But they're basically doomed. It sucks, it hurts. But that's just the reality and the fact of life. And you have to go and see something like this by yourself in order to understand it truly. It's fucking terrible. It really is. But this is how life is. This is how the world is. And it's cruel. But you have to go and recognize that fact for yourself. That's why India is such a fucking powerful country. That's why I came here. That's why I'm glad I came here. I've had a day and a half. It's been enjoyable so far. Half a day that was enjoyable gave me food poisoning. But get through every single problem that you have and you look back and you go, okay, my life is so good. I can do something to change my life. I can do something to change your life. Because you're not walking around like a zombie. If you are walking around like a zombie and you're doing that, basically you need to snap out of it. Because if you don't snap out of it, you are going to become a zombie. You are what you think. You become what you think. And if you want to become a zombie your whole entire life, then basically you're going to lose your ability to use freedom. You're going to lose all of the resources that you have, that you've been blessed with. You're throwing them away. You're throwing them away just because you go, somebody has more. Well, in some ways, yes, they have more, but you have the same amount of freedom that other people have. You have to use that freedom. You have to take full advantage of it. If you don't take advantage of it, you were doing that guy in India a huge disservice, because you have the freedom he's never had. You need to take advantage of it. You need to actually do what you can to improve your life and prove to him that you are worthy of what you were born with. He unfortunately is fucked. He will never be able to do that. But I guarantee you that given his life and given your life, he's up for survival. And he would 100% gladly switch places with you, and he would take full fucking advantage of it. And he would change his life in a heartbeat. He would gladly welcome you to this slum. If you think your life sucks so bad, if you think your life is fucking terrible, you need to go to India. You need to go and walk around and experience this. It's fucking sad. It's terrible. But you will learn and you will recognize that you were blessed with freedom. You were blessed with the ability to make your own decisions. You can learn something new every day. You can take full advantage of what you have. This guy can't. This guy doesn't know how to, and this guy won't. And unfortunately, trying to help this guy that's so far behind, he's basically gone. Do you want to make an impact on somebody's life? You do. You need to learn a foreign language. That's how you do it. You need to learn a foreign language. It's very, very hard to do. You have to take a bunch of steps. You have to work hard. You have to be dedicated to do it. But by doing so, if you go to another country and you speak that person's language, chances are they're going to first be flabbergasted. And two, they're going to completely change, or they're going to reinforce a belief that they have about you and about your country and about your background, about things that are so much greater and so much deeper than yourself, things that you probably can't even think about, things that I can't even think about. If you learn a foreign language, not only do you learn how to communicate with people from a different background, a completely different background, you learn to empower them, because they're going to look at you and they're going to go, well, you, being the foreigner, can learn this language. You have a different perspective, and you can teach me something. Not everybody, but a lot of people will. A lot of them will just look up to you and go, okay, I want a handout. You're my American friend. Give me something. Okay, add me on Facebook. Make me look cool. A lot of people are out there struggling to survive. And this is going to give them more points to build more relationships and strengthen their relationships in their community. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to strengthen your relationships with this person that you've met, you've potentially befriended, and with your own community when you go back. Because you're going to see all of those people differently. You're going to recognize that you have more things in common with them than you did before, because you've gone so much farther on the other end of the spectrum. You've built a relationship with somebody that's so much more different. And you're not going to be as afraid to talk to those people back home that are different from you. In short, you're going to be able to change lives. You're going to be able to actually impact people, do things to other people's lives, and make them more positive. I think that's what our generation wants to do. We want to impact people. We want to leave and make this world a better place. First step you can do, first step you can take, is to learn a foreign language. Because if you do that, I guarantee you at some point in your life, you will. The investment that you make learning that foreign language will allow you to make an impact. The more you learn, the more you may be able to impact them. Whether it's going to pan out perfectly, I can't say. But by learning that foreign language, you are going to open doors. You're going to open doors for yourself, and you're going to open doors for other people. You're going to change lives. Don't be afraid to do that. It's just the fucking coolest thing you can do. You realize then how powerful you are, and you realize that with this great power, you do have a responsibility to do the right thing.
good, man. You're good. I think it's filming. Yeah, please don't touch it. It's going. It's good, man.